want to spend a few minutes today talking about the importance of face masks and COVID-19. Now, at first you may notice I'm not wearing a mask right now, and I want everybody to know that's because I'm in this room recording alone. But if I wasn't, I'd be wearing a mask. And the reason why I'd be wearing a mask is wearing masks reduce the transmissibility by reducing the transmission of infected droplets. Face masks protect you, and they protect me. So what's the evidence? So in an MMWR article published just a month ago, they looked at the USS Theodore Roosevelt. In mid-January, the USS Theodore Roosevelt was deployed to the Western Pacific. And unfortunately on the ship there was an outbreak of COVID-19 and about 1,000 service members were infected. The average age of these service members was around 30. And what they found in a review of those service members is those that did avoidance of common areas had a 40% less likelihood of getting COVID-19. Those that practiced social distancing had a 50% less likelihood of getting COVID-19. And those that wore a face covering had a 70% less likelihood of getting COVID-19. I also want to show you this piece of information. This came from another study. The top box reflects what happened in daily new confirmed COVID-19 cases in New York. First, they implemented social distancing, then they did stay at home, and then once they implemented face coverings, the number of cases dropped dramatically. This is in comparison to other states that did not implement mandatory face covering. You can see the difference in daily new cases. Additionally, a review of 21 studies showed that masks reduce the risk of respiratory infection by 65%. So let's talk about R0. We've all become familiar with this term R0 in this pandemic. R0 refers to the reproductive number, which is an indicator of how contagious a disease is or how easily it spreads from person to person. When we've talked about COVID, nobody really knows what the R0 is, but it's somewhere probably between 2 and 3. In this particular review, they estimated the R0 was 2.4. Now, there was some very smart physicists and mathematicians who tried to compute what the impact of wearing masks has on the R0. Now, the math in this paper was incredibly difficult to follow and way above my head, but ultimately they determined that wearing masks reduced the R0 by a factor of 1 minus E times PM squared, where E was how good a mask is at trapping viral particles, and PM was the percentage of the population wearing a mask. So let's go through some numbers and see how it works out. So let's assume a cloth mask is only 50% effective at trapping viral particles. And we know it's difficult to make everybody wear a mask, but if we can get 50% of people to wear a mask consistently, let's take a look at what happens. So if we put the numbers into the formula, R0 times 1 minus EPM squared, put the numbers in and we won't spend a lot of time on the math, we'll end up with an R0 of 1.35. Now this additional paper took this theoretical change in R0 and compared the number of cases over a month. With an R0 of 2.4, with nothing else being done, they estimated there'd be around 31,000 cases. With an R0 of 1.35, they estimated there'd only be around 584 cases. Now, we don't want to get too caught up in the exact numbers here, but the point being is there's a dramatic difference in the number of people that get infected. But if we take that a step further, even looking at these numbers, even if we had a 1% case fatality rate, with no mask, we have about 300 deaths. With masks, we have only 5 deaths. Also, if we take that to the next step and we say, what's the impact economically on our society? Well, those cases, those 30,000 cases, are an enormous economic burden to our society. Somebody has to pay for all these hospitalizations. Somebody has to pay for this ICU care. Somebody has to pay for these people being out of work. It just kills our economy. And so a final study that I looked at from the Yale School of Management estimated that the benefits of each additional cloth mask worn by the public was estimated to be in the $3,000 to $6,000 range due to their impact in slowing the spread of the virus. So, like I started, wearing masks reduces transmissibility by reducing transmission of infected droplets. Masks protect you, they protect me, and masks also keep our businesses open and protect our economy. So, thanks for joining me. Thanks for wearing your mask. Thanks for doing everything you do.